Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So, today is episode 1.1 of OC Oh My, a series where I'm designing my OCs, or original characters, and taking you along for the process. We are updating one character that I've already drawn on the channel, Mbasa, and then we'll be getting to everyone else. Very fun. So let's jump right into it with Mbasa. So basically we're just changing her colors a bit, just adding that red instead of the periwinkle from last time. I like what the periwinkle was doing, but I think the red just makes her more vampire-like in general. I know her armor has the red in it, but you know, having more red doesn't hurt. And we're doing splash art this time. It was kind of in a rush because turns out you can't just take a week off after you upload a video. That will make you behind, so sorry for that extra week in between uploads, but we're here. I'm just kind of learning that I need to practice drawing these characters more, which now that they're designed, that can happen, so net good overall. But I am really happy with how this turned out. I added her two other constellation weapons, the Cancer Crab Claw Shield, and then the Leo Ikakalaka, which is a traditional African weapon. But I want to look at that more and maybe revise it to look more lion-like. Because where it is right now, that's just what the Ikakalaka looks like. Like, I put 3 claw marks down the center of the blade, but still, it doesn't translate from that far, but whatever. And then I do really like the smoke around the circle. I think that was a fun addition. And now for Anila. She is the healer of the group. So on Mbasa's journey to Asteria, where the meeting of the Great Star is going to occur, one of her group gets injured by a group of bandits that's kind of taken stake of a section of road. They take out these bandits, and lo and behold, hey, you just helped the village by getting rid of these bandits who were keeping them from getting resources. So, thanks. And it just so happens that this village is filled with healers. So, Mbasa and the group go to the village, and who walks out of the elder's home? Anila. A young woman who happens to be the elder's daughter. And she, of course, being the elder's daughter, is extremely advanced in healing magic and is able to attend to Mbasa's comrade. Mbasa, as the leader, of course, is overseeing everything, and so they grow to be closer. And my plot for their romance begins. Anila is a very bright and cheery personality. When I think of her, I usually use Katara as a reference. Kind of motherly, a voice of reason in the group, a sense of calm and kind of assuredness, but not in a boastful way. She's protective, strong-willed. She knows how to have fun, but can be very serious when necessary. She wants to help as many people as possible, but isn't willing to take anyone's life due to her vow to heal people. Kind of like a doctor's vow. She's learned a lot over the years from listening to those around her, especially being the elder's daughter. She's been in a lot of council meetings, political and medical situations, very well developed in her decision making. And this makes her a good second in command to Mbasa. Kind of like, if you like K-pop, it's kind of like the sub-leader. I'm gonna give them all K-pop positions now. So, look forward to that. And you might be noticing that this design is taking a little longer than Mbasa's. Well, first of all, because I was just making tweaks to her design. But the time change really hit me in the noggin. And so I thought that I could just use Clip Studio Paint's time-lapse. Remember when I talked about that in the last video? I am rescinding that statement. Why is it so choppy? Sorry, this is such a tangent. But it just doesn't look good. Don't use that. Like, you can use Clip Studio Paint, but just don't use the time-lapse feature. And to add on to that, don't use the time-lapse feature, at least for really long videos, or longer videos than a minute. It automatically will set them out, or time them, to 30 seconds or a minute, I think. I'm pretty sure. You might be able to do custom, but I'm not sure. But with that, because it's going so fast, it has a bit more like animation to it. But I just realized, I'm sorry, that clicking that's been in the audio has been me cracking my joints. Oh, I know that grosses some people out, so I apologize, but it's a subconscious thing. My joints are of an 80-year-old who's deficient in, do your joints need vitamin D? I'm not getting into that right now. I would say that time lapses can be used for like short form content if you're trying to do that. I'm probably gonna only use them for short form content on like social media, or on different social media. You know what I mean, vertical. Goodness. But yeah, anything longer than a minute, I can't really recommend it, which is so sad. I think maybe Procreate might have a better time lapse. I know other art YouTubers might use their laptops, iPads with Procreate, and that might have a better time lapse, but I'm not gonna pay for another art program. I'm not doing it. I paid for Clip Studio Paint, and I'm keeping it there. But thank you so much. I use Streamlabs to screen record when I draw, like this footage right now. But you will see that it's with the splash art. All of the splash art and then the designs for the next 3 characters are going to be CSP time lapses. They aren't terrible, but it's just not as visually satisfying to me personally. This like in-time footage sped up, being able to see like the actual strokes happening instead of them just like popping up. But I guess that's what I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about Anila. As Anila was growing up, her mother taught her the ways of life magic, which is her light magic, using the sun's light, and how to unlock her abilities through training and meditation. And I hope to do that in a culturally sensitive and not weird orientalist kind of way. So she's obviously based off being an Indian woman placed into this world, like parallels. But I'm going to learn more, and that's why I want to do a world building episode in the future, so I can work that all out. As she's healing Imbasa's comrade, they need to keep moving, and so Anila, one to always be down for an adventure and to learn more, volunteers to go along with them, and that's how she joins the group. So her magic is very, like I said, plant themed. So her colors are going to be orange and green. So she's really taking up real estate, as she should. But her magic includes sealing magic, kind of like Bokudo from Bleach, and ward status effect things, and then protection magic. Oh, and also perception of energy as a sensory technique, which I think is a little fun. Okay, I'm gonna speed run through her design. I like her, sorry, but I think I could do better. I'm glad that I changed their shorts into pants, and I like her little pouch. Her flats are confusing, but we'll get to that later. I love her skin color and her hair color against the green and orange and cream. Yes. Loving her down, mom of the group. And now we're on to Changhyun. So, Changhyun is one of the delegates being sent to Asteria for the meeting of the Great Star to learn about some mission. They're all going there to learn about some mission that they've been chosen for. And so, Changhyun is the delegate from Maum, or heart in Korean, in the east. So, a very obvious inspiration from Korean culture for his name, and like I said earlier, I want to do a world building episode of OCMI where I draw kind of landscapes or like cityscape, just kind of creating the world that they live in. So that is a thing to discuss another video. Changyan himself. I'm trying to characterize him in his poses and kind of his colors, but he uses shadow magic, very opposite from the two light users we've had previously. And of course, as a shadow magic user, he has to be dark and mysterious, and so he struggles with trust, but is very protective of those who he does trust. This is so like fan fiction coded, it's so funny. He doesn't like to be held back by others, but also won't let anyone fall behind. If Sasuke wasn't such a jerk, we're pulling him back. Not so extreme. Hey, you can have friends. Well, maybe not friends, but you can have allies that grow to be friends. So he grew up tending to a shrine, so there's a regality, there's a formalness to him. He's a bit of a prude, but there's a character in the future that we're going to introduce that will help warm him up. But for now, we've got a dark, spooky monk with a mysterious past. Grandmother, it's me, Anastasia. There's like some saxophone. Okay, we're moving on to Anastasia. Yay! Mixed girls rise up, I guess. I don't know. Anastasia is the daughter of Queen Victoria of Arona, making her princess of, you guessed it, Arona. She is the youngest of, let's say 4 or 5. I've obviously figured out in-depth backstories for all of these characters. But being young, she has been kind of overlooked all of her life, and so that's really pushed her to want to become the best. And through that, she has become the best in her family in using ice magic. So that has earned her the honor, her mother would say, to attend the meeting of the Great Star and be put on this mission. So standoffish at first, Anya takes a while to warm up to the group, although M'Basa gains her respect pretty quick. She is extremely sure of herself, but does look for, like, she's young. I would say probably 18, 18, 19. And so she's kind of still looking for, like, her way through life. And so a solid foundation like M'Basa is important to her. As the princess of Arona, which is placed in the northern mountains of the world, she is perceived as an ice princess to those looking from the outside. But deep down, she is a kind and caring person. She is a very strong-willed witch who knows her strengths more than she does her weaknesses, which can lead to problems on the battlefield. But using her quick wit, she can almost always find her way out of danger's grasp. Hello, it's her, Valentina. So, little baby Valentina, love her to death. So, as you can see, this is the youngest member of the group. Much like a K-pop group, I forgot to give everyone positions. We'll speed round at the end of this video when I show all of the splash art again. Amazing. So, like Anila, Valentina is a member that is picked up along the journey, I'll say. After they attend the meeting of the Great Star, they have to go get her. This kid has gone through some trauma, and we'll kind of see that trauma unfold, but it will be important to her character, and it's nothing too crazy. I'm not like gonna kill her parents in front of her or something. So, due to this trauma, Valentina has a very shy nature at first. You know, like that one little cousin that you don't know that well, but you see it like family functions sometimes, and so when they look at you, they're like, who the hell are you? And you're like, dude, I was there when you were born. Being the youngest though, and with the trauma, she finds herself as the baby of the group, being cared for by those around her. Everyone kind of, everyone just kind of attaches to her. Which will be fun to watch. I guess you'll just have to stay along for the ride to learn more about Valentina, as the characters do. But that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts and feelings on these characters. And I will see you next time. Alright. Be safe and make good choices. Leader, visual, lead dancer, sub leader, main dancer, main vocalist, lead vocal, maknae.